thing I want to talk about is fleet electrification. So as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to electric vehicles, it's a diverse market, and I think that what we're seeing is a larger increase today of bringing electrification into a variety of fleet departments. But that wasn't the original case. You know, when we first started out with electrification, we were looking at passenger vehicles. You know, you remember the Nissan Leaf that came out and it had 67 miles of range and things like that. In the same situation, at the same time, there was hybrid technology, and it brings on a whole variety of trying to do fleet electrification. So we started out, honestly, with those passenger vehicles, and we brought on board some hybrid vehicles in the larger class vehicles. And very quickly, we started to realize that it's an entire package. And what do I mean by that? So when you go to try to bring electrification into your fleet, you can't just bring an electric vehicle into the fleet department, into your operational usage, and run a 110-foot, 110 power voltage extension cord, and that's going to be, you're now running electric vehicles. So then you have to start talking about infrastructure, and then you have to start talking about where does that infrastructure fit the best. Do you do it in your parking garage? Do you do it out in your public? Is it a dual infrastructure where the public can use it versus your fleet? You have to work with your facilities team. You have to work with your power team. Is it a transformer upgrade? Is it a trench? You got to dig trenches. You got to run wire. What type of charger? You know, there's Clipper Creek. How do we bring all that in, and what do we do with that? Do we do a charge subscription? Do we do, you know, just our own chargers that we maintain? And then what's the life cycle on a charger, you know, and things like that. The other things we were taking a look at were battery life cycles, range. So one of the things we started right away with is we told all our employees, everywhere you go, every chance you get throughout your trip, plug in, charge, plug in, charge, plug in, charge. And it was very interesting. It actually dropped our range on the vehicle because the battery never really went through a full cycle of charge. It would always be short charging. So we quickly changed that out to only charge when you absolutely need it to return to base, and then charge to get back home. But once we get home, we'll do all our charging at night. So we actually started asking our employees to, you know, if you can make it back with plenty of leftover, don't charge when you're out and about. Just basically wait till you get back to our home base, and then we'll plug it in and we'll charge them at night. And right away, we started seeing that taking those batteries through a full cycle of charge, that it would actually bring the range for that vehicle up to a higher level. The other thing we were looking at is be diverse. Again, we talked about diversity in our fueling infrastructure, so we're going to talk about diversity in our electric vehicles. And by diversity, I mean they just don't make every type of vehicle that we utilize electric. So we started looking at hybrid options, some of the hybrid non-plug-in vehicles. We started looking at the plug-in hybrid vehicles. So we want to make diversity one of the key things in our program. And so every opportunity that we have to bring a vehicle on board, whether it's full electric or hybrid electric, whether it's a plug-in hybrid or non-plug-in hybrid, we want to take a look at. One of the things I will say, though, is we have some requirements here as a utility. So in our utility business, the things that we deliver, the products that we deliver are lifeline products. So in other words, power to live, water to live. And in that condition, we have to be very concerned with reliability. So we have to have reliable power and reliable water. So we don't want to bring something on board that's like, we don't want to be cutting edge technology. We like to be fast followers. And the reason behind that is my operational group needs to go out and ensure that what we are in the business of bringing water and power to homes or businesses, that we still are able to do that utilizing the vehicles. One of the difference with a fleet versus your personal vehicle is in a fleet department, the vehicles are tools. They're not vehicles in a sense. So fleet electrification, just to wrap everything up with that, just understand when it comes to electrifying your fleet, there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration. What type of vehicle is the vehicle that is out on the market today fit what you're trying to do with your fleet? Look at alternatives such as hybrids or plug-in hybrids. Make sure you understand your infrastructure needs and bring in your facility folks and everybody that you need to bring them in, your facility personnel, your power personnel, everyone that is involved. Have conversations with your employees, with your operators to kind of offset some of that range anxiety, get some education on vehicles and what they do and what their ranges are and what it looks like. Have some understanding of what that range is involved, such as our state, Washington State, that we're here, that we rain a lot, it's dark a lot, things like that. So you're going to be running your wipers, you're going to be running your heaters, things like that. So, and just kind of get as many people on board as you can, talk to your leadership, get the perception from the leadership on what you can and can't do with electrification. So there's a lot to take into consideration.
If you want to see more of this conversation, get in touch with us at fleets@pluginbc.ca and we will direct you to the entire video and also be happy to answer any additional questions you may have.